The Hole in the Ground is a 2019 Irish horror film directed by Lee Cronin, this being his feature-length debut, actually, and written by Cronin and Stephen Shields. It stars Seana Kerslake and James Quinn Markey. The plot follows a single mom who suspects her son isn't who he says he is after returning from a mysterious sinkhole out in the woods. With the release of Lee Cronin's Mummy, I figured I would finally revisit his debut film so I could, I could review it. Plus, I just wanted to watch it again. Like, it's a really cool movie. This was actually my second time watching it. I think I liked it even more this time around. The film starts with Sarah and Chris driving home. So you get some great cinematography with like this inverted drone shot of their car driving along an Irish forest. It's just dread-inducing music, kind of setting you up for something really intense. It's a great opening scene. I always say that I love watching an ambitious filmmaker's first film, and how you can tell how much attention they pay to small details, and you can just feel the inspiration because yeah, you get that here. It's just something that I always look for with filmmakers. And you learn that Sarah and Chris are actually moving out to the countryside to escape an abusive situation with Chris's father. And before they get home, Sarah almost hits an old woman standing out in the middle of the road, who Sarah learns had actually killed her young son many years ago by running him over with her car. I know that sounds pretty serious, but there's more to it. When they get home, Chris is upset to learn that his mom lied to him about his dad moving with them, and he runs off into the woods. So she finds him near a giant sinkhole, and from that moment on, he just seems different to her, very confusingly. And the next day, on the way home from school, they come across the old lady again on the road. This time, she starts to attack their car, screaming at Sarah that the boy in the car is not Chris. It's not her son. It's a pretty spooky scene. It's creepy, and probably like the first of several that you could imagine someone watching and going, hey, this Lee Cronin guy, he could probably do a decent Evil Dead film. So Chris's behavior it continues to be just kind of off, in a way that only a parent would notice. A parent would notice these very, very minor changes in personality and stuff like that. She begins to think that maybe this indeed is not Chris, just like the old lady said. On a writing standpoint, I do think she came to this conclusion a little quickly. I may have drawn it out a little bit longer, incorporate a little bit more mystery. And so while I do consider that a little flaw in the writing and maybe a little bit jarring, this is a pretty tight 90-minute script, so at least nothing is, needlessly overlong. And I do think this is an absolute horror gem that gets in and gets out quick. In fact, I think that extending it by, maybe 20 or 30 minutes might have benefited it. I know everyone nowadays likes their 90-minute movies, and I do too, but I just think this one would have, I think it would have worked being in a 2-hour movie. It being a 90-minute movie keeps your attention the whole time, but I feel like some of the parts of the story, do feel just a little bit rushed, just a little bit. Like the last 15 minutes or so are almost a blur, but man, it's such a great third act that I have a hard time complaining about it. It kind of turns into like a creepy creature feature, and even has an ambiguous ending that, kind of letting you decide for yourself what the outcome is. And there seems to be like an agreed outcome, like on Wiki and stuff like that. But my take on the ending is actually the complete opposite of what Wiki says, and I have 2 reasons to think that, neither of which I'll go into now. I would say that there are some pacing issues, as in some parts of the story just needed more time. Because this movie to me is not ever remotely boring. It does utilize those 90 minutes very well. I just think it maybe could have used a little more. And I mean, like I said, I wanted more. I guess a lot of people, I guess a lot of people see Sarah's distrust of Chris as an allegory for for many different parental fears, almost like the Babadook did. But honestly, I don't really personally see the psychological horror. And for me, this is just a really cool creature feature that uses Irish folklore as an inspiration. And on that note, not knowing, if you don't know much about Irish folklore, and I don't claim to, but if you don't know anything at all, I actually the first time I saw this, I thought this was like a total Lovecraftian movie. But you can still kind of look at it that way, but it is more focusing on Irish folklore, although it doesn't address that in the movie. It's just a theme. It's just a theme that's there. But I think you could easily look at it as this like really creepy Lovecraftian story. So I don't know. I guess you can kind of make of it what you will. But yeah, I've given The Hole in the Ground 3 out of 4 stars. I just think this is an underrated little film. And even though I do like Lee Cronin's 2 other movies, I'd like to see him return to more original stuff like this. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you at the multiplex. Subscribe right now, please.